Hey everybody, we are back for the regular Pena Perspective. How you doing tonight, Mr. Pena?
Had ho, peeps. Good to be back. Thank you very much. And so, for everyone who has been having a drum roll in our audience, has been waiting. Woo, yay! Thank you all so very much for waiting around, having the patience, and actually being here this week after. Um, I don't really want to talk about last week very much, but hey, we're here today, and yeah, life goes on. There have been some interesting things happening this week. Besides the fact that my laptop, I had to install a flash drive for a hard drive because
Yeah,
everything
you
was jamming.
might as well give people the update. What we got headphones on and looks like a different angle.
Yeah, a slightly different angle, but it's still right here in my Shredskeda. This is a little bit more further towards that stuff instead of the mess over here or the clothes over there. Um, But yeah, Terry, I hope you got my message. I sent you the message on Facebook, trying to explain things, but mad respect for you, brother, definitely. Um, all right, cool. The thing is that I needed to replace the hard drive. My hard drive is a physical hard drive in my laptop, and I move it from the bed to my little office to the bed, and I'm constantly carrying the damn thing around. So I'm worried that that might actually be affecting, the accessibility to the files and that sort of shit. So I'm putting a flash hard drive in there, an SSD drive. And so that's going to take them a couple of days to get done. And I took it in this morning. Um, and so it'll be ready maybe tomorrow or Saturday, maybe. Um, yeah, I need that to work. So I'm sort of in a rush. And unfortunately, I was trying to figure out if I took it in today or not. But I knew if I took it in tomorrow, I'd get it get the end of next week and shit. So that's it pretty much. So,
Yeah, you
um,
want to take it in right before the weekend, then you're stuck waiting.
yeah. And I just got this cell phone last week because I was absolutely tired of my other one, which was also a hand-me-down, but the battery was lasting for 15 minutes, and so I couldn't do anything with it. The memory was constantly filling up, and so I'd get WhatsApp messages, and boom, I couldn't use WhatsApp anymore. So yeah, I was frustrated, and I ended up getting this phone, cheapest one that I could get on the market, about $200. Anyway, so it's a lot better than the one that I had before. Um, but yeah, so it's a blessing and a curse, actually. I'm upgrading the stuff that I had before that I didn't really want to or have to upgrade, and now I have to, so I did. And in the meantime, I'm using my kids' headphones, the ones that they used to play with, but the microphone bugged out, and so they wanted to toss it away. And it allows me to listen to my videos at night without bothering people and certain things. I just don't like showing up um, in videos with earphones on because see all those people with earphones, and I'm just like, you fucking nut job. It's just a goddamn microphone. Just talk into it,
That's,
But
honestly, that's
today
one
there
thing. It's
were issues.
too loud. I'm too loud for my significant other, so I wish I had headphones sometimes. I'm playing it through my speaker. I know how I can be loud.
Oh, we can be loud. I mean, that's one of the best things about our show is that we gonna get.
You get
Sorry, I
emotional. You
get
get emotional.
when
And
I get emotional, I get.
we both, I think we both do. I think we're both passionate about what we talk about. I think we're both strong
Well,
about our feelings.
it's testosterone. It's what we fucking do.
I don't tie my, I don't know if I necessarily tie my feelings to testosterone. Blah, blah, blah. I
Really,
can't talk right
you
now.
really,
To testosterone because
you really warm have such an impact on. I mean, the more I get into, see, the things that I didn't, the knots that I couldn't untie in getting my book together were through the chemistry and biology, because those were my weakest subjects. Yeah, I got B's and C's in those, and I learned. So yeah, I've got a general knowledge of it, but I didn't, it didn't resonate with me, so I didn't get into the intricacies of it as much as I did with physics. Um, so now for the book, there were things that I wanted to know. Okay, so I know how energy flows in certain electro states, in light quantum states, and that sort of thing. but I wanted to understand how those same energy flows go from the energy to the mass, and the mass, which is chemical, into the biological. In other words, how things operate inside the body. And whenever I was trying to discover how energy flows happen through the body, that yeah, you find out that liquid has a lot to do with it because that's what transfers everything. And the deeper I got into it, I mean, Bruce Lipton is one of my favorite sources for that because he was a cellular biologist and he was studying exactly how cells moved and why they moved in certain directions and what they did. And what he talked about is they only have two reactions. Which is if you seek it, you'll find it, because that's what it is. Everything is there. And the more you look for it, the more you're going to find it. It's just a question of looking for it. It's there. But anyway, what Bruce Lipton was talking about is the pH level of the environment in which a cell was in decided what the cell was going to do, whether or not it was going to go into a defensive posture or whether or not it was going to go forward into a growth and expansive posture, which is usually a healthy situation. They continue moving around and doing what they do throughout the body. That's what they do. And so then I found out about, pH. So what affects pH? And then we got the interactions because psychologically, there's always this nature versus nurture thing. And the nurture is the environment that you're in, and the nature is your genetic construct. Yeah, but what is part of that genetic construct? And how do those genetics translate into what would actually be chemical signals? And therein comes the role of hormones. There are at least 8 different hormones that are activated in women during childbirth. Progesterone or pregnancy, I should say. Progesterone being one of them. That's why their feet expand and they never actually go back. Why? Because whenever a hormone goes in and it's there to actually expand the cervix to allow for an easier birth. Okay, a natural canal birth. It's the way it's supposed to happen. And so the cartilage between your joints ends up being expanded and eased so that your joints, your bones can actually move around and spread and allow for that big ass fucking baby's head to come through a canal that which would normally not support that big of an object going through that orifice. And so the hormone is there to allow the cervix to expand to what it needs to do. The problem is that chemicals aren't, they don't stay in one place very well. Newton's law of thermodynamics, wherever there's an interaction where they can go, they'll go there. And so they expand throughout the body. And one of the things that happens is that because the feet have more bones than any other part of your body, basically, because you got all those individual bones that keep the structure and the toes and everything else. And so all that cartilage between those bones is affected by the progesterone, and they just expand. They become softer. And with all that weight, because you not only have your weight, you got the baby's weight, plus the water weight, plus, all the other stuff that ends up going around it. All that weight is on those feet and it just flattens them out. So after every pregnancy, women will notice that they have to buy new shoes. They can never go back to the old shoes that they had before because their feet will never go back to that size. Why? Because that's the way hormones and that's the way chemicals work. And so whenever we find out, we start looking into those things. You read men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And then you read books.
Before we get too far off that topic, I've never talked about gynecological science with you. This has never been a topic that has come up with us. So I have to ask, besides your experience as being a father, how do you know so much about this?
Because the same answer that I give people whenever they ask me the same fucking question about any goddamn topic, basically. How do you know so much? I read, I study. There's a reason I was accepted to Harvard and MIT. Okay, why? Because I like to know what the fuck I want to know about. I've been researching since I was 7. It's not I wasn't a normal 7-year-old that I'm playing with fucking kites and everything. I'm actually reading about Atlantis. And it's not that I read a comic book series and that sort of thing. And oh, this, this Disney series looks really fun. And yeah, I think that's real. No, every single piece of literature and books that I could find from 7 to 9 years old in the various libraries in my school library, in the city library in Guthrie, in the city library in Dallas, when I'd be in Mexico City, and I'd be going through the Museum of Paleontology, and I was looking for different things and signs of different civilizations and everything else. I got into shit. I use my brain. That's what I fucking do. And so whenever I'm interested in the topic, I go in and I study as many different possibilities and terms and factors of it. Now, I depend a lot on Dr. Lipton's work because that's what I'm most focused on in biology, which ends up being a really difficult topic for me. Now, whenever before I was a father, what I did is I wanted to make sure that I was doing a good job. So all the books that
I often notice when I try to talk about a topic like this, my penis gets in the way. Mud Rabbit said, "Okay, ladies, get a drink and something to nibble on. Let's hear men explain this." Touche, Mud Rabbit. Touche. Oh, I feel like, yeah, no, it is, but there's a lot of topics that I feel like men are excluded from the conversation about certain things. I do respect the idea of it, but at the same time, there's a lot of topics that men are involved in that I feel like it's naturally okay to exclude them from the topic, even though they should be involved with it, especially if they're talking about a long-term relationship or something serious. Like I feel like whether we're talking about baby making or anything like that, I mean, I feel like that's something a man should have just as much involvement with. I don't like it when people based on sex, religion, race, or anything get excluded from a conversation because of the way that they are.
So then why the fuck can we actually get excluded?
Why?
See, that's my question. Yeah,
because we are white males. That's why.
Yeah, okay.
In the simplest term.
Women can talk about any topic the men would do, regardless of whether or not they would have done it or have done it at all, because they'll talk out their ass about any fucking topic, and they have every goddamn right to, because they, as women, have the right to their opinion. So,
but that's something I think as a human right. Everybody has a right to their opinion,
And to deny somebody else's right is hypocrisy, and it's lie, and it's deceit, and it's getting things your way and only your way, which is what they were complaining about with the patriarchy. I mean, holy fucking shit. Now, I'm not going to say what a woman is feeling inside whenever the baby's moving around in the third month, and they start kicking in the second month, and, they're talking to it and they smooth it and they know when it's hungry because they're blah, 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 because I've never had a baby in my belly. Yeah, but I've seen two, and I've read about. I mean, when my wife she was pregnant, and she was starting to give me
the closest analogy I've ever got on this channel was somebody told me it's like pulling your upper lip over your head. I don't remember. I think it might have even been Mud Rabbit that quoted it, because I said guys would never understand what it's like to give birth. It's one of those things that we will never understand. I mean, biologically, we are never going to be able to understand that. I mean, there might be a level in confusion that's going on in society today, but I don't think it reflects.
There's a problem with that word. Now, we can understand. In other words, we can comprehend. I can explain to you scientifically the entire process from conception up to birth, whether it's natural or cesarean, or the reasons for both, or other options that there are for it as well throughout the entire spectrum. Why? Because before I became a father, and before I decided to become a father, I studied all that fucking shit about it. Because my parents didn't know. They depended on one book by Dr. Stork. Okay, and that fucking traumatized my ass, because that Stork motherfucker never had any goddamn kids. And he's telling everybody else how to teach theirs. I mean, there's your fucking hypocrisy. Know what I'm saying? Somebody who doesn't even want to have kids tells you how to raise them. Well, fucking have some and fix yours. Use those as a goddamn example, and then you can tell the rest of us how to do it. And when you want to do that, go to your grandparents first after they
Well, and that just goes back to that basic level that me and you always talk about. It's like, fix your own bed before you worry about other people's. It's like, why at any point are you worried about what other people are doing in their lives? There's a certain level that I don't feel like if they're not infringing on your rights and causing a problem in your life.
When it affects my life, then I've got a serious fucking problem with it.
Exactly.
You know, whenever it affects my kids' school, whenever it affects my kids' health, and whenever it affects my kids' safety. With those three things, I will not back down. I will not stop, and I will not accept any other motherfuckers saying what.
And I've always agreed with you wholeheartedly on this. I said the law won't even stop me on these events. If you start jeopardizing my child's safety or anything like that, then the law is not even going to get in my way.
I don't care what the law
says for anybody involved.
No shit. It's called survival, and that's law number one. You know, you take care of your own. What does a lion do whenever he gets a lioness? He eats the cubs of the previous lion to make sure that the only genetics go on are his.
Okay? I didn't know about that.
Okay, Saturday mornings.
I want to catch up the chat a little bit. Sorry. Yes, it was Carol. It was Carol Burnett that that said that about stretching the lip over the head, and it was Mud Rabbit that referenced it. There are also things that men do that women can't grasp. Well, I think there are, but I mean, I think they're on a different level. I think women are way more capable of things than men are. Men, maybe physical activities, but I don't necessarily think that makes you higher in the hierarchy. When I think of like problems that men have to do with, I think of like a 13, 14-year-old in class trying to hide a biological problem that that they have to deal with in the middle of class that girls might not have to deal with, without giving too much emphasis on the situation. It's a toughing situation.
I just learned that you don't fucking hide it. It ends up better that way.
God damn.
It does. What they're gonna enjoy, and if they don't enjoy it, it's their fucking problem. You know, go off. What can I do? You know, am I gonna complain that you got big ass tits? You know,
I feel like that's an older day thought though, because at the same time nowadays that could get you arrested, and you didn't even know it.
I didn't talk about posing. I mean, holy fucking shit.
No. I'm talking about the fact that you not being able to control a bodily function might actually get you in trouble nowadays.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I'm in Brazil.
Don't get me wrong. It's a really scary thought, but at the same time, I could see it also being a problem. At the rate that we're traveling, I could see that being a problem in the future. Mud Rabbit also said, "I'm not a feminist. I am all for women in the home to be with the kids, but society has fixed so that families cannot exist without two incomes." That's true. I don't necessarily think that the woman has to be the person. I mean, in the home, I've seen some very good soy boys that hold down the home very well, and the women bring in money better. And if that's the dynamic in the scenario that works, if she's better at it than the man, I'd rather have the girl doing it. And it's just like any job. It's just like any job in the world. I would like the best person suitable for it. If the person that needs to go out and make the money happens to be the woman, by God, get out there and do it. Hopefully your man's able to take care of the things that you can't.
Two things. First of all, Mud Rabbit's complaint about two people, that is by design. The central bank, one of the core tenets that they had was to increase, especially after World War II, the amount of women in the workforce. That would be one. For two reasons. It would increase the economy. People would have more money to spend. And also it would allow for no one to be in the homes so that the children would be able to be better indoctrinated by the state system. Okay, so it was all by fucking design so that they could control your kids instead of you being able to decide what your kids did for you. That's what these fucking globalist beast motherfuckers want to do. And we're on to them, and kiss my ass. They're not going to get away with it anymore. Number two, don't call me a fucking soy boy.
I wasn't calling you a soy boy. I was saying people that you have a job. Hey, you
Yeah,
have
I've
a
got
job. You also bring in income. I was talking about what you consider a soy boy is the person that doesn't bring, like, by design, is the person that doesn't bring in any income for the family and just stays home and takes care of the kids. It's the same chauvinistic. It's the same chauvinistic idea of a woman should be in the house and she doesn't need to have a watch on her hand because there's one on the stove. Like, there's a bullshit line you can run on both sides. What I say is it's a healthy balance that you need to have in a relationship. It doesn't matter who's earning the income. It's the respect that you have on that level.
Now, here I've got a thing because my wife makes a little less than 8 times more than I do. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cough out loud. I thought my microphone.
That's my life. I basically am able to pay for my bad habits, and that's fucking it. So she ends up covering the majority of the costs here. And was it by design? Kind of, sort of, because I knew that her industry was better suited than mine. I knew that she already had a career where I was still trying to develop one. And I also knew that I was a more feeling kind of person than she was. And being raised by 5 women, I wanted to make sure I was the one raising my boys.
You know what I learned from Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, what's that?
So to be more empathetic than the majority of women, you have to be more empathetic than a 72 percentile in all of women. So that shows something. It's a significant sign that shows that you have a higher being of caring than most general men. Like, there is an actual hierarchy that falls in, and it's not based on sex. It's not based on anything else.
I can also see a wider range of colors. That's because my estrogen levels are quite high, to be honest with you. And my wife's testosterone levels are quite high. So we ended up matching in a certain way. But that meant that she's more driven and more, pragmatic and everything else. And I'm the one that sort of, decorates and makes sure, because nothing gets into this house that I don't agree with. If I don't like it, because I've studied art history, I've visited, architecture, and visited, 15 different museums in Paris and in Madrid and in Germany and everything else. And so you get a sense of what is good taste and what isn't. And so there are certain things that I just will not fucking allow in my house. Now, does that make me, the woman of the house? Maybe. And if that's your perception of it, then fuck you. I mean, where's your idea of,
I don't think you see, and I think that has to think, like, to me, when you said that, it pointed out how you think of a woman's character in the house. I don't think it's a negative thing. A woman that can take care of multiple kids in the house and run a house and keep everything all together, that's a job all on its own. And pretend that it's not is belittling the situation.
And see, the problem is when I was living that, because for 3.5 years I was completely unemployed, and so yeah, I was a stay-at-home house dad. And yes, I cooked, I cleaned, drove the kids to school, and everything else, took care of all that stuff. And I got little to no fucking credit for it. And so one of the things that I realized, it's not that female homemakers are denigrated because they're women. They're denigrated because they're homemakers. Because me as a man was also denigrated, and even more so.
I also think it comes with the territory, because women are recognized more for empathy. So usually they're in the home more because of the children being raised in the home. I feel like and that's what I mean by it comes with the territory. It's one of those things, like, if you're around the house, they expect it was an expectation that was put on women because they were there in that situation.
You're not doing anything, so go clean the windows or something. Make yourself useful and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly how it got portrayed. I think, I mean, I'm never going to limit women to that. I know women are more than that.
But I've heard that conversation from my wife. So tell me that that's a chauvinist thing? No, it's a situational thing. Okay. What happens is that the person that's earning the most and the one that's serving the others, one denigrates the other because they don't think they're pulling their weight. It's always that way. Whether it's the man, going, oh, well, I got to take her flowers because, she's, honey, she's taking care of the kids. Even though he doesn't really think that she's doing a big job. She's, just sitting on her fat ass doing jack shit. When at the same time she's, making sure the two kids aren't destroying each other's, destroying everything else, and making sure that everything's, because women also are very much more demanding on things. I mean, I would clean the house, but I wouldn't clean it to the level that my wife does, because after all, I've got to move it. But at the same time, there was no recognition for any of it. And at the end of the day, you get no pay for it. So you can't go out and get yourself something, because you worked your ass off all week. No, what you get is you want to put your feet up on the weekend, and people are looking at you going, why the fuck are you putting your feet up? You don't have a job. Okay, you're right. My job is serving you.
So with with that statement of my job is serving you, Mud Rabbit made the statement. She goes, I make killer sandwiches, ... And I said, LOL. And Terry said, he said, you lie, prove it.
Well, she makes sandwiches, but what comes after that ... is she makes sandwiches for herself. I mean, if we ask her to make a sandwich.
The last comment says, Terry, I'd love to. She's going to prove Terry wrong on them good sandwiches.
Well, then I start getting concerned because wasn't Mud Rabbit single? But anyway, we're not going to go.
What does making a goddamn good sandwich have to do with being single?
Because I'm jealous.
Why do you got to tie sex to sandwiches?
When is it not?
Sandwiches? Gosh, I don't go to Subway and think about sex. I just look for a sandwich. I don't know about you. I'm just joshing you.
We're men. It's the only thing we have on our mind, right?
Every 6 or 7 seconds, according to science. Oh my goodness. We still have our guest tuning in with us, the one and only.
I'll let his ass in here, man. What the fuck? I mean,
Aaron. He's on the background. So I was gonna ask you first. I'm gonna open up the StreamYard and let anybody join in, but I wanted to make sure everybody was cool with it. So I will share the link all over the place. Everybody feel free to grab onto it wherever you want. You're more than welcome to come up and join us. I'm going to put it in the description. I'm going to put it in the title. And I will also put it in the chat. So click it wherever you feel necessary to click it.
Me and my mates are here. We're all ears.
But yeah, we're just hanging out tonight, letting everybody come up and talk with us. We're trying out Pena's new setup for the night, and hopefully by next week he's going to be set up on the new platform, back with the updated computer version.
But I'm looking into a microphone and that sort of thing. If I get a computer and that sort of thing to actually make this a studio, I actually need to wall this off with glass, because my biggest problem here is the humidity. I mean, like I tell you, we spent the last 3 days just raining. I mean, really.
Great. Shout out to our Cloaked Unseen World. He's live. He's been having trouble getting his live going, and he's been working on it on and off tonight. So I wanted to let everybody know he's still working on it, but he's getting it up.
My Cloaked Unseen World, big channel, seen him on many different rounds. So I'm happy they're here. That's welcome. Always.
Ryan's a good guy. He's working on getting something set up, and me and him are actually going to be doing an interview. I wanted to interview Ryan soon, and he might be on the channel here in the future. So,
well, that'll be good.
I'm excited
So
about
one of
all
the
the new guests we got set up. I got Randy Kramer coming up. I don't know if I told you a little bit about him.
Not yet. And I was watching some of your interview this afternoon with Mr. Montauk Man. Anderson, there was something about that. Jacob
The name?
Israel mentioned that. Yeah, Jacob Israel mentioned that about a month ago, and he was talking about the Matrix actually, and he was talking about the meaning of the reason that he's called Mr. Anderson, because he's
Ooh,
just
that's interesting. I like that. I like the
he's
Montauk. The Matrix tie to it.
yeah. Well, see, it's all tied together because they're all trying to tell the same story. Because there's no real creativity. They just try and tell the same story from different perspectives. It's all the same thing. We live in a matrix. We just don't want to admit it. You know, they're using this as little freaking batteries, but what they're doing is they're sucking. It's off our emotions. It's not electrical signals. It's off pheromones, it's off chemical. And so they feed off of our fear. You know, the fear feeds them, and that's why they do it on a constant basis.
Oh, we have a special guest in the background.
Well,
Give me a wave if you're good to go there, Aaron. I don't know if you can hear me.
yay!
I can see you, but I don't know if you can see me. But I'm gonna pull Aaron on here and make sure he can see us.
I can hear you.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
There's Aaron.
Raise
I don't know if you can see me.
I can see you.
I'm gonna pull Aaron on. Do you have the YouTube running?
I can hear you.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
Uh-oh.
There's Aaron.
Yeah.
Go back on the YouTube.
Go and mute the stream.
He's screaming in the background for the.
Got it. Got it.
Come on, you're a professional, Aaron. What happened? I'm just joking.
This is my first time on a StreamYard, and I have to thank you because is it still going?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it, but I can't get the green screen to work. I can't get the green screen to work on the StreamYard.
On the street.
What is the color of the green screen?
Green.
No, because some people use blue, but like I don't have a green screen, and I can actually turn it on the settings on StreamYard actually has its own that actually come with it besides your own.
It won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. Maybe I got to pay to get that service, but I just have the free one right now.
I don't. Oh.
But
now I'm interested.
See, so I should be able to do that too, right?
Yeah, you should be able to do the same thing. It's under Cam and Mike, I believe. On the settings on the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, if they're not on,
there it is. Yeah, camera and mic.
And then they have a green screen section.
Green screen.
Oh, that's only when
your browser doesn't support the green screen feature. A graphics processor GPU is required. I have a Mac. So it should have that. I mean, I don't know.
That's bizarre.
I'm learning more and more about the StreamYard with getting different people on it. But regardless, hey, thank you for coming up. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
You always got a good background. We got your game in the background. We got some good photos back there.
Yeah, actually, I took my game down. It's actually supposed to be up here, but I haven't been using this. Let me see if it goes up there. Yeah. Oh, there.
Mud Rabbit says
magnetic.
I was talking about the UFO game on the other side.
No, that's not a game. That's a model kit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was the one that me, you, and Terry had talked about.
No, that's top secret. You're not allowed to talk about that.
Okay. That's exclusive on my channel, apparently.
It's not been published yet, so it's totally top secret. So that's that.
Oh well, I appreciate the public release on our channel when you gave the little bit of insight.
For sure, we will. Yeah, it'll be a good day. But yeah, that's the model kit that it's from the specs given by Bob Lazar. Of course, he worked on.
He's a busy man.
Yeah. I'm not going to answer that.
There's more. Slice them, we dice them.
What was that?
You kill them. Guido's Morgue. You slice them, we dice them. You kill them, we chill them.
What?
That's a weird way to answer the phone.
That's the way you should answer the phone. There's some sort of a lag here on my side, but anyway.
All right.
The CEO of Hasbro has passed.
I've heard about that. It's about time. He was a jerk.
Is that the company that you worked for, Aaron?
Yep. I did back in the big 80s. Back in the big 80s. It was a great place to work back then. It was a really, really good place. In fact, so at that time, Hasbro was the first company in 1983, 84 to break $1 billion in sales in a year.
Hasbro was huge.
They were the first ones to do it. So they were the biggest at the time. And it was just nice. So we had, Transformers was hot. We had G.I. Joe, of course, and My Little Pony.
Max, I didn't get that one.
I didn't know if he was talking about
things out to other companies. Like, for
Aaron,
instance,
you cut out a little bit.
A big wheel company would license the My Little Pony and the Transformers and the G.I. Joe for their ride-ons. For their ride-ons.
Everything for us was Hasbro. Everything at Toys R Us was Hasbro. It was everywhere. Every commercial that I saw in Saturday morning cartoons was all Hasbro. Didn't matter. 20 different toys. Hasbro.
They were
sticks in your
good toys. Good toys, and it was a good company too, because at that time it was good because Stephen Hassenfeld.
Guido's Mortuary. You kill him, we chill him. You stab him, we slap him.
Oh, I have to put a message over here. I'll get calls all night long. Okay.
All righty. Were they trying to call into the show? Is that it? We're that popular, Jacob. Look at that. Holy crap.
I don't think that's the case.
No,
Aaron's popular on his own.
It's just a friend trying to call me. And
interesting. That it is what it is. No, we're here. Steve.
Wow. Are you guys talking about beef standing? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you can't even say that. That name's censored as well. Holy shit!
I mean, they're ahead of the game in case it is. They like to.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Now, thank you for explaining that to me. I'm sorry it went so over my head.
No. It goes over everybody's head. Everyone's learning what it means.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It's so comical what's happening. I mean, it's tragic and comical at the same time.
But see, Aaron, you're old enough to remember the Cold War era, okay? And the propaganda that we were fed as kids, and the ideology of the Soviet Empire, and the absolute control and domination that they had over their people, and the difference that America represented and the West represented. And the reason that Berlin Wall had to come down is because we represented freedom, and people should be free to do what they want and choose to do because they have, the God-given rights to self, blah, blah, determination and seeking happiness, perseverance, whatever it is. Yeah. We look like Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. I mean, what the fuck happened to that? No, but we all must concede because, woke is right. Fuck you. Nobody's ever all right. That's the reason why my God gives you guys a choice. If you want to fuck up, it's on you. You got the option, but you want to fuck up, it's on you. And these people, they don't allow that. It must be their way or the highway, which tells me that they are not from the Father, but from the father of lies, the one who wishes to control everyone instead of giving us our free will. So anyone who wants to take away somebody else's free will, I've got a serious fucking problem with them because they don't have that right.
Well, as you can see, a lot of Americans are standing up now. Look at Southwest Airlines. The company came.
Look at them.
All three of them today. American Airlines, United Airlines, and Amtrak also followed suit with Southwest. And you've got the Don't Tread on Me being flown on Alaska Airlines as well.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Plus, every Saturday we got FGB Enchanted every weekend. So, that's freaking awesome.
We got Ron DeSantis, who's inviting all of the cargo
ships to come down to
Florida. Our ports are open magically. Hey, we're not Democrat. We're open.
Well,
I heard a lot of people talking about this. They were saying that the trucks are waiting, the ships are waiting to be, actually getting material off the ships, and they're trying to act like it's a shipping issue when it's not actually a shipping issue. It's a very small issue, and it's almost controlled.
It's a planned operation to it's what happened in the Middle Ages whenever they would lay siege to a town. What did you do when you laid siege to a town? You would surround it. You would prevent supplies from coming in. You wouldn't allow water to get in. And when the people got hungry enough and weak enough, then you would be able to invade without much resistance. Right. Well, guess what? Whenever you look at the map of the shipping containers, they're all stopped at the shore. Nothing's coming in. It's like a siege, except it's not from outside in, it's from the inside out. The ones in control of this government had placed slight little problems and specific bottlenecks, and they can blame it on everything else because they haven't said one true word since those motherfuckers were bred onto this planet. They're children of the father of lies, and they've been lying the entire time. You can tell because everything that Mr. Sleepy Joe has said, he's done exactly the opposite. That's what a liar fucking does. He tells you one thing and does something.
To point out some of the positives going on, props to the governor. Props to the governor in Texas for stopping these mandates. Yeah. Like we have to respect these things that are going on a state to state level as well when these people are standing up for their rights.
And now they're wanting to sue the governor Abbott because he shouldn't decide what the company decides is best for their employees' health. I mean, come the fuck on. They're fighting this from every goddamn angle. I mean, they're Satan's minions, and they don't give up because they know that death is permanent, and they want to take as many of us with them as possible. And that's what frightens me, because the minions have been loosened upon the earth, and they run around to devour those whom they made. So put on the full armor of God, because it's showtime.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can. And California just changed the law that now they won't allow owner-operator truck drivers to go on port. So, in other words, the independent businessman. No, only the large corporations can. So they're totally.
Well, and also, I mean, Aaron, look at the stipulations that they're putting on the truckers themselves with emissions as well. It's like you can't even ship because you have to have an electric semi.
So that's at some point. That's why we need the Tesla Vortal teleporter to do all of our shipping with the Tesla.
You're not wrong.
That's the answer right there. That's one of the answers.
But one of the answers that we have a free trade zone with Mexico and Canada, and so all those containers that are off the port of California, which is basically isolating half the fucking country from the largest materials producer on the planet, because everything from China comes over to California. Yeah. And so the demon rats are blocking that. And that could go down to Mexican ports, because on the Pacific side, Mexico has 3 or 4 ports that they could use.
They're going around through the canal too. But
it's going
to backfire on them. It's going to backfire on them because
around the Panama Canal to get to here.
American.
No, Aaron's right. Aaron's right. It's going to backfire on them.
American-made products are not on any of those ships, and that's what's the reality and what's going to happen. Because for the last 20, 30 years, every time I tried to start my toy company, I had people that wanted to invest in my company. They wanted to invest a lot of money in my company, but they said, you got to make them in China. I said, no way, we're making them in America. And they said, I'm not going to invest in you then. And they walked. But I held my guns, and I'm totally freaking broke. But I never made anything in China. I never had any of my products held up in port. I know where they're made, and there's never any shipping problems. That's what's going to happen when they're messing with this. They're trying to screw everything up. Another thing they're trying to do, they're going after the military.
Aaron, just to interject on that, the problem is you're more integrity driven than other people. You're not worried about making the quick buck. You're more integrity driven on the fact that you care where your products are being produced.
I grew up in Mound, Minnesota, birthplace of Tonka Toys. Tonka Toys. My father worked at Tonka Toys. When I was in 4th grade, we toured Tonka Toys. I got a little metal van. We all got a little metal van at the end. I got to wave at my dad in the tool room, who's now passed away. And so, and that was an American toy company. And it employed like half the town.
Love those
things. And when some executive who came in from who knows where to Tonka said, hey, we should move down to Juarez, New Mexico, or Juarez, Mexico, and cross the border, and we can get a lot cheaper. And they moved all their operations down to Juarez, Mexico, or New Mexico, or somewhere in Mexico. What happened was, for one thing, it cost a lot more money than they thought it was going to cost to move all the heavy equipment down there. And when they finally got it down there, and they broke a bridge, they blew out a bridge. They paid like $6 million to fix a bridge that they took too tall of a thing under. And when they got there, they hired a bunch of people a lot cheaper than what they were paying in Mound, Minnesota, but they would turn a machine on and walk away. They weren't trained. So by the time they trained people, they had to pay them more. They were paying them the same amount that they were paying them in Mound, and they still weren't getting the quality because they didn't have the pride of this is an American product. We're making this here. We're proud of this. There's pride in that. And that's not going to come from any made in China label.
That's true.
And so this is going to backfire on them big time. Because no one's going to want to do anything overseas because of this huge problem that can't happen.
Well, hold on. Well, we got 3 things because Mud Rabbit has been talking about this, and yeah, there's containers being blocked all around the world, and that's an interesting fact.
I think the containers are being shipped. I don't think they're being unloaded,
right,
and being put onto the semis. The semis are waiting on line, and the containers aren't being unloaded. Is what I see.
Because the truckers. I saw a thing about this trucker said that. That all Democrat cities are requiring the lollipop, that you get the lollipop. That's some people are calling it. And so no one is delivering. No one is doing their trucks into Democrat cities. So they're all parked their trucks. They're not going to do it. So
the problem is that they own our ports and they're the way into the country. And so without
we're seeing this with jobs all across the country, though. They're trying to pretend there's a shortage in people wanting to work when there's requirements on people that some people don't want to accept. I feel like that's the biggest way to put it. There's requirements put on people that they're not willing to accept. And that's why they're not working. We're not going to pretend it's something else that it isn't. I don't know how to explain it any better on this platform without going too into it. But I know everybody, at least on this panel, knows what I'm referring to. There's a lollipop that not everybody wants to taste.
Right.
And if you don't want to taste that lollipop, I don't feel like you should have to. And that's also why I supported some of the governor in Texas's ideas about. It shouldn't be something that should be forced on you. If it's the right idea, you will do the right idea.
We got to understand why. Why can't it be forced on us? Because some motherfucker, some crazy ass deranged motherfucker already did this once, and he killed millions of fucking people. And so
But
there was a little trial called Nuremberg.
I think it's easy. I think it's easy to make the bad comparisons. Pena, it's easy to make the bad comparisons, but at the same time, I see the public willingly giving away their rights too, and I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And whether you're talking about Facebook, whether you're talking about YouTube, we're willingly giving away these rights, and then we're wondering why they're gone later.
They can't give away my rights, and I'm not giving away my rights.
Yeah,
and that's the whole damn thing. They,
right.
No, fuck no.
I just
even a majority. It's my ass, because this entire country was founded on a contract. That contract, whenever you null and void a contract, if you do some of the terms that the contract says that you're not supposed to do, then the contract is null and void. Which means that the people that are integrated into the contract are no longer beholden to each other. So if I sign a contract with you that you're going to pay me such amount per month and I'm going to do such amount per month, and you don't pay me, then I don't have to do fuck all for you. Why? Right. Because that's what the contract stated. Now, we have a small contract, a very basic contract that was written up more than 250 fucking years ago. And the goddamn country has to fucking follow it. It's called the Constitution, bitch. You don't want to go to another fucking country. It's got another goddamn contract that you like. That's the contract we signed with the government. And when government doesn't fucking respect it, we've got no more obligation to respect that fucking government. Period.
Well, I feel like it's the same way on a state level, though, Pena. I feel like if you don't like the way that things are being governed, you go to a place where you like the way that it's being governed. You don't complain about it, or if you're going to complain about it, change it on a grassroots level.
Yeah,
like that's how politics have to be taken care of.
Local. The chicken shit Californians are running away from the shit that they created to run down to Texas to try and turn that shit blue. Fuck you. That's not going to goddamn happen. Well, shoot your ass. I mean, we're not giving up there was a fucking republic, man. Before it was a country and a republic before it became a state. So kiss my ass if you're going to make Texas the most conservative spot on the planet blue. I mean, seriously, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll never get their hands on that Texas toast.
No. The Spanish tried to do it, and they killed off a bunch of them. No. What happens? We don't
has going for it. It's the Texas toast.
We fucking remember the Alamo. We got fucking revenge on that sumbitch. And we got revenge on the French, and we got revenge on the Mexicans, and we got revenge on the Americans, and we got revenge on just about fucking everybody else. Because we don't play that shit. And that's the whole fucking point. That's the attitude. That's what made America great. Not this, let's be kind to, yes, we should be kind and generous to everyone, because that's what an American and a Christian is about. Okay. However, allowing some fucking vocal minority dictate everybody's goddamn norms of speech and thoughts. I mean, give me a fucking break. Quit being a totalitarian bitch. Get off my back.
As an American, I like to recognize the fact that our military prowess is the only thing that justifies our economic debt that covers the world. If we didn't have a military prowess, I know our debt wouldn't be honored the way it's honored.
But it's not being honored. Right now, they're printing more money than they can ever do.
No. That's not what I mean. The U.S. is going to print money because that's what they do. I do agree with that. But what I don't agree with is the fact that other countries would respect us if we had a smaller military. I feel like at some point, other people are going to want to reclaim their debt. And if we didn't have the prowess to back it up, I don't feel like we'd be able to hold the debt that we hold.
Okay, so hold your beer for just a second and let me inform you on something that Marfugel has been keeping us informed of over the last 6-9 months to a year. For example, the largest debtor of the United States, in other words, the largest creditor, I should say, of the United States, the country that holds the largest debt of the United States would be which country?
Britain.
No, that was back 3 decades ago.
You're talking in the United Nations, or you said the United States? I'm confused.
Nations. It's governed by a party called the CCP. and they hold about 1.3, $1.5 trillion worth of American debt. Yes, Mud Rabbit, exactly. So that particular country is buying up lots and lots of things in the U.S. and everywhere else. Okay, so they're the debtors, but we can hold them back because we got a big badass fucking military. Yeah, but under the how can I say this kindly? The Antichrist traitor Sartoro basically gave them plans for our shit and allowed them the final materials for them to actually make the stealth material and paint, which was what they were lacking from the information they had already stolen from us beforehand. So after the debauched facade that was done in Pakistan, China got lots of information and other things that allowed them to, whoops, a couple of months later, launch their fifth generation fighter jets, which are really similar to the 22 and the 35. I wonder how the fuck they developed that so quickly. They just must be geniuses.
Yeah.
And now Marfugo's been telling us that they've gone from 70 ships less than the U.S. to 20 ships less to the U.S. Then now, about 6 months ago, China is now the largest navy on the planet. And not only the largest navy, but now they have surpassed us by more than 100 ships. So not only have they closed the gap, but they closed it extremely quickly, and they continue to build while we continue to implode. And so that idea that our military is going to protect us from the big bad wolf, only if it's now, because here in a little bit, that big bad wolf is going to huff and puff, and we're just going to fall down because it's all rotten from the inside.
That's why
if they paid off the corrupt fucking politicians, they're corrupt from the inside, and those, you know, those barriers will be hollow reeds, and they'll just blow down.
And look at what happened during the Trump administration. The military was the strong point, you know, the backbone. But now they're going after that. You got the critical race theory, teaching them all how to be racists and how to be jerks.
Oh, and, as a top, well, I understand white rage.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? That's Millie. Guess
no,
what?
you just need to hate anything that your family is based on. If you have white skin.
Guess who Millie played football with?
In my life.
Guess who Millie played football with in school?
Who's that?
Who?
That with that transgender, that really ugly transgender guy.
Mike.
Mike Robinson. Really ugly. No, in the administration, like the Homeland Security or some big. It's curly blonde hair. He's really ugly. Looks like a dude. He was an ugly dude too. I can't remember.
What, the secretary?
Yeah, he's some kind of secretary. Yeah.
Oh, so the one that the woman that sits open like this, right? Yeah, that one. She played football with him. Oh no.
Yeah, they were buddies. So now I'm looking at Millie going, Millie Vanilli.
I'm sure.
Millie Vanilli over here.
Millie Vanilli.
Millie, some of the labor say of the health secretary. All right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
There's some wild things going on in politics that we can't even dabble with. It's weird. It's weird how limited our speech is on this platform. I think it's interesting.
I know.
I don't understand the purpose. I don't understand the purpose behind it.
Because it's the Chinification of America.
Thank you very much. It's the perfect way of controlling. It's Joseph Goebbels himself mentioned it. When you control the information, you can control their mindset. You can control their thought patterns.
I remember in the old days of the intranet when we used to hear stories. Oh, did you hear in China and North Korea, they won't let their citizens listen to see certain things on the internet? Whoa, really?
That's just wrong.
And also, remember years ago, watching China, they're wearing the masks. Now we're wearing the masks. It's the Chinification of America. That's what's happening. And they're going after the frontline workers, the nurses. They're trying to force them, and the doctors, and the military, and everybody, so they can decimate that work population, bring in the illegal immigrants and the blue helmets, the UN.
Anymore.
They want to bring in. They want lawless and disorder. So they defund the police. They can bring in the UN and make this the third world. Woke is a joke, and it turns to shit country.
Yeah, we are soon becoming the United States is soon becoming a third world nation. We did that when we ended our fiscal responsibility. We were dependent on the petrodollar, which is why we started wars to make sure that petroleum was continued to be sold in dollars, because that's the only reason that we could continue to borrow and not feel inflation. Well, guess what? The petrodollar days are over, which is why we are feeling inflation, just like any other third world fucking country that does irresponsible shit. And these stupid motherfuckers haven't learned, and they're still trying to spend another 3.5 trillion before that fucking piggy bank runs out. They want to squeeze it for the last freaking penny that they can launder out of it. That money will go.
The most significant addition to the $3.5 million or trillion dollar proposal is now they're going to shorten the time period on it. They're going to do the same thing in a shorter period and then try to pretend they're going to make the money in a shorter time. Like, what kind of proposal is that? Like, we didn't expect you to do it in the time you proposed, but yes, maybe shortening the time is going to make us feel more comfortable with it.
They tell you what you need to hear, and they do what they need to do anyway. Why? Because they have that 16-year plan, and they're behind schedule because they lost 4 years. And in those 4 years, he undid a bunch of fucking shit they were trying to do. So now by accelerating it, we can see it. They're no longer boiling the frogs slowly like they have been for 3 decades. They were forced to turn up the heat, and the frogs are jumping from the skillet. That's what's happening. Okay. And the frogs are getting pissed. Which is why, we got that Frogzilla thing going on in our community. I love the Frogger. That motherfucker Pepe, right? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Can't let any night go by without that one. Let's wish him all the best in whatever places underground he may lay. Vampires like being underground, right? But anyway, Aaron, supposedly it's not even him. So who do you think's playing Brandon? Because Brandon, according to information, has already been done away with. So
you're playing Brandon. Hey, Kenya, that's a dangerous topic you're going down.
I don't know if I don't have any insight on that. I just.
I don't know if you're an expert on clone or cloning technology, but
yeah.
No, actually, it's a lot more difficult to transfer the consciousness to the clone, so it's easier just for actors and that sort of thing. Cloning is more for the higher ups that actually have the money, because a clone's not cheap or easy, especially the hide or hold or throw. I mean, that shit's complicated. But if you got enough money, yeah. But transferring consciousness from one people. Problem in the copy. It's not always true, and regardless, you're going to die. That consciousness is going to go into that clone, and that clone's going to be another version of you, but it's going to be its own reality, and it's also going to die. If it passes on a portion of that consciousness to the next clone, well, that's another Memorex of a Memorex of a Memorex. It's no longer got anything to do with you. Each one of them has their own existence. Now, will they still be executing the same malevolence and evil plans that the original did? Most likely, because that's why they fucking grew the goddamn clones. So yeah, you got to get rid of all the fucking clones, or the consciousness database. If you can eliminate where they are actually storing the consciousness that they're uploading into the multiple clones, that's a whole nother story. I don't know if they have it in a database, but I know that they're working on it, and I know that they've been able to map the brain and say they would be able to technically scan it and, you know, make a visual image of your brain, including all your memories and everything else. They can replicate it down to the finite detail. And so if consciousness is somewhere in the brain, they will be able to copy that entire hard drive. The problem is that the consciousness is outside the brain and you need the antenna to get it. You can have the processing power and the programming to run the computer, but it's going to be empty without the consciousness. And that depends. And Bruce Lipton actually mentioned that. And each individual cell has these little antennae that allow them to focus in on the essence of what consciousness they're in at that particular point, you know, what body they're in. And that's done genetically. So maybe, but if you've got problems with the genetic copy and problems in the memorex of the consciousness, then maybe you get a disconnect between consciousness and the body later on, and you just got this empty shell that any kind of spirit can then invade and possess. And at that point, you've got demons walking free on the earth. That's just my idea.
I heard something that might be demons, or that I think they said fallen angels, because or fallen ones. Some guy, I think in Iraq or Iran, he was like holding his phone by this crack in the ground, and these weird like monster animal sounds were coming out, screaming weird sounds, very bizarre, very bizarre. Now
It's coming.
Who knows if that's real or not? But it's kind of interesting.
Well, supposedly after the meteor hits, the gates to the abyss will be opened, and you know, then they'll be flooding out. But it's kind of like Ghostbusters, man. You remember in the beginning of Ghostbusters when really bizarre shit started happening, and you only saw the ghosts in Ghostbusters pour out at the very end, you know, from that central temple building. You remember the original Ghostbusters?
I really only saw it once, way long time ago. I barely remember any of it. I remember him getting slimed. Or Bill Murray. But actually, that was supposed to be Belushi, but he passed away. He couldn't do the part. He was supposed to get slimed.
Bill Murray is perfect for that. I can't see Belushi as that one. Belushi's too fucking
Belushi
crazy.
was supposed to have that line. That was Belushi's line. Yeah,
man, but he's a crazy motherfucker. I mean, I couldn't see Belushi as a Ghostbuster, but
he was
but
gonna
sure.
be. He was gonna be.
I could see him as the doughboy at the end of Ghostbusters. You know, the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
That I can see Belushi as that.
Stay puft. Whoa! Look at that.
Over here we have the awesome Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarty. So if anybody gets a chance, make sure to like and subscribe. Aaron is the man who got me on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. He does great interviews, and he has a lot of interesting topics that he covers on his channel. And I want to make sure I give Aaron the best push I can, because if anyone doesn't know about his work, they need to know about it. That's how me and Mr. Pena met.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, and that's how I met Mr. Pena too, on Facebook. You know, I made a Facebook post today. It said, "Complying is for pussies."
There you go.
I think I'm gonna make a T-shirt out of it.
With a big cat on the front.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I've never worn a mask. People, you know, people like are like.
Well, I mean, you invented a mask. You didn't have to wear your own. There was no reason.
Where is it? Oh, it's not up there. The Invisimask.
Wearing it.
No, yeah, I'm wearing it, but I have a shirt that has that Invisimask on it. A picture of the Invisimask.
Hey, speaking of what, you didn't put his merch shop up on. You just put the channel. I was gonna say you got to put his merch up there because he's got an entire line.
Mud Rabbit already shared it once.
Yeah, Mud Rabbit already shared it.
But here it is again, because she's quick with it. I told you, Mud Rabbit, fastest hands in the East.
There it is, Mud Rabbit. Look at her. She's on the.
So on the bottom of the screen, we have "Let's Go Brandon" on our ticker, and we have Aaron's merch shop, where you can find all the good teas.
You know what? Mud Rabbit is an Anan, I would imagine. And look how quick she is. I bet you when a news story breaks, she's like one of the first ones to figure out,
She always knows more than I do, and that's tough.
Huh?
She always knows more than I do, and that's fucking tough.
Yeah.
Aaron, I don't know. We were talking about it on your show the other day. Not me and you, but we were talking about it in the chat. Mud Rabbit actually jumped on our show recently, and it was the first time ever we had to interview Mud Rabbit. It was a lot of fun. She likes to go down some rabbit holes.
Oh, I would love to interview her too. Yeah,
Mud Rabbit is the best deep dive interview to come out of the blue, especially like I would never expect it, and Mud Rabbit is on point with everything. So
Mud Rabbit. Will you please come on my show, Mud Rabbit? I would be honored. I had Dark Brain, my other mod on. So
Dark Brain's cool too. We like him.
That's the other one I've been reaching out to. I've been talking to Ryan. I want to get Ryan on here soon. Our Cloaked Unseen World has talked to me a little bit offline, and we might be doing something.
Okay.
And I would love to get Dark Brain on as well.
Good.
But
You're gonna call me awesome. She's
man.
Hey,
Mud Rabbit is ahead of the game with a lot of those.
She probably doesn't want her. She probably doesn't want her face to be shown, huh? Because she's
she didn't show her face on ours, which is totally fine. It's a comfort level.
Oh, a Dark Brain has something planned for a show soon. Oh, good. Oh, yay. Not only do our Dark Brain and Mud Rabbit on my mods, I also have two people that call in regularly. A guy who goes by the name of Maxwell Smart, who's a very smart guy.
Love that guy.
Cool guy. And also Austin Morris, who is he's like a sci-fi book genius. He's like read them all. Very interesting guy. So
nice. I'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was going to point out you had a call come in earlier, and that was Mud Rabbit's first comment was this right here.
Oh, yeah. Usually it's Maxwell Smart calling in. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Mud Rabbit's got the fastest hands in the East, and I like to point it out. She's on the ball.
She is.
But see, he wasn't answering his shoe. Maxwell only called your shoe.
Stinky shoe, yeah.
Hit
that thumbs up too. I just got 9 was my lucky number. Someone got 10. So there you go.
I got 10. Oh yeah. Anybody? I'm not big on pushing that. I'm really horrible about pushing it on my own page. Everybody go check out everybody else's page. I like the Pena Perspective. I like Aaron Moriarty's show. I don't push my page enough. I'm more about I just like I like building these communities and getting to talk to people about good information I didn't know about. Like that to me has been so important. Like I told Aaron offline, I was so excited about just getting to have a really good interview with somebody I was interested in, and that to me meant so much. Like I just getting to talk to these people is enough for me, and it's a lot of fun.
It is fun.
That pool.
Go ahead.
That pool interview was a blast. That was fun to hear. I'm still not finished with it. I will be listening to it.
That's Maria. They changed the title name just to give you a heads up.
Okay, there we go. Yes, speaking of which, this weekend, since I don't have my laptop and I have a new phone, I'm actually going to film a little promotional video on the waterproofing additive that's for cement that I actually used for my secondary gutter. And so I'm going to be running a little video for them, just explaining what I did for that. I'll make one in English, one in Spanish, and one in Portuguese, and they'll be running that on theirs. So that's what I'm going to be putting up this weekend, just for fun, because I got to clean out my gutters anyway. So once I'm up there, I might as well make something out of it. So that's I'm going to be cleaning the gutters this weekend. Yay!
Hey, fun. I need to clean my gutters because I was like little plants growing up there. It's like, oh, whoops.
I've got a foot big.
It's about that time of the year, Aaron. I was just thinking the same thing. Once fall comes around, you got to be ready for all those leaves that want to grow plants in there.
I've got tons of leaves, tons of trees around mine, so the leaves fall year round. And so, yeah, those leaves turn into compost and they turn into dirt. And I've found earthworms up in my fucking gutters. You know, seriously.
It's weird how that works. I wonder if they climb up there, or if they're born up there, or how that works.
I wondered about that thing too, because I'm up there, 10 feet off the ground, and I'm digging an earthworm up, and I'm going, how the hell did this thing get in the
What'd you do? Shimmy up the drain pipe?
No, they're actually in the dirt itself. So there's something about, they come out in the bird's poop, or they come down with the seeds.
That was my horrible grease reference.
Yeah. Wow. How do they get?
What do you do? Shimmy down the drain pipe?
Well, it's things that you wonder how they get there, like
to this day, I just
worms in your gutter, Biden in the White House. How did those things get there?
Sorry, Terry. I can't get my mind out of the gutter.
Aaron.
That's where I live in the gutter, Howard. Sorry, Terry. Sorry.
Yeah.
My mind. I live in the gutter, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. I might get my hand out of the gutter to say hello to all you people walking around normal and shit. But yeah, I got my own problems.
Yeah, but you know what? After this commander and thief is out of there, I think it's going to be a glorious new kind of a thing. I think it's going to be a rebirth. And remember, Trump said that we're all going to be united again, or was it our favorite letter of the alphabet who said that?
But we are united. Everybody around the country is singing "Let's Go, Brandon." We are more united than we have ever been before. There are more people telling big corporations "F you" and shutting their ass down because we are united. The problem is that we're going to have to rebuild after all this shit. Okay, and that's going to take a couple of decades. Why? And that's the show that I did with my dad, because I wanted his perspective to be able to. I don't know if you watched that one, but I wanted him to explain how we survived the monetary crash, the currency crisis in Mexico, because it fucking wiped us out. But you have to be creative. You have to find a way to survive. You got to go against the grain. You can't go with the flow. You got to find a way to do it, because that's the only way that you can actually survive one of those currency collapses that wipes out tons and tons of families in every country that it affects. Okay, and the U.S. is next on that list. Now, is Jassar and Nassar going to come in and everything else? I don't know. Is it going to make our life wonderful? I don't know. But we got to go to the Third World War before we do that, because the Dems aren't going to go down without China. I mean, if the Dems actually delayed the delivery of the impeachment process so that they could time it with a guy getting off a plane in California, China's going to do what they need to do for their little minions to stay in control. And so if they're about to toss their minions out, that's the last chance that China has to actually take Taiwan. And so they will at that point. That's the last card they're going to draw, and it's going to be quick. But there are going to be very powerful weapons released. And there are some people that are mentioning that that lab in that little city that is now very famous worldwide is also developing. They're developing another one now, which has an 80% mortality. So, hey, what a wonderful
shout out to Maria and God, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. The Dromar family. If you have to put the pronunciation in the text in case I'm pronouncing it wrong. But she said, "I wear my sunglasses at night," and Aaron came back with it. So I can. I wear my sunglasses in the day at night. That's just because my future's too bright. I mean, that's how I live my life.
You know what? Future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Yeah,
that's a different song. But that was written by a friend of mine. lives here.
I wear sunglasses at night so nobody can see my bloodshot eyes.
There you go.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, real glasses work for that too.
I mean, the life of a stoner isn't easy, man. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I got to be a loafer and take care of the house and, you know, put up with other people paying the bills and denigrating me while I smoke a fucking doob in the backyard. You know, I mean, it's a tough fucking life, man. I mean, I tell you, I suffer. I mean, I'm this close to being a social depressive and shit. I mean, I'm under house arrest for 20 years. I'm a hermit. I mean, holy crap. I'm loving it.
There you go. There you go.
It's the life I chose, I guess.
There's a great meme. It's so funny. It's obviously taken when Obama was in the office, and it's Obama and Biden. They're sitting on chairs and they're kind of leaning forward with their hands on the armrests.
And Joe's like, "Excuse me, that's not what they mean by."
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Dude.
I love that one. I love that meme.
Shared that one on. I mean, I share half the shit that you put on Facebook. I like every meme that you put on there because I just, you know, whenever I get onto Facebook, I go to my home and find out certain things, but you know, then I'll go into the notifications, and usually there's like 8 from Aaron because he just posted that shit. And so I go into the first one.
I have a shit posting license, so that's why.
And so then
Aaron's one of the king of the memes. He goes pretty heavy in the paint.
And then I will go directly onto Aaron's profile page and I'll just scroll down for like an hour and a half, laughing my ass off the entire way. But I posted one today that had it was in the comments of one of the other posts in a group that the name of the group is Let's Go Brandon. And so you'll like that song. I put it on my Facebook profile so you guys can enjoy it because it's a black guy making a rap out of Let's Go Brandon. And he's saying, "We know what they're saying. Let's go, Brandon. We know what they're saying."
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to be singing that one for the next couple of days because it's a catchy little tune.
It is catchy.
And so if anybody actually has me comment on their Facebook pages and everything else, I will be signing FJB ! Space ! And hoping it catches on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So each exclamation point being a clap. I miss college football. I used to play for the University of Texas. Filled ass stadiums, memories. Oh man, I love college games. College games are fun, and especially this year. I'm loving to watch football games this year.
Everyone's saying the same thing. It's amazing.
They are in unison. Our country has come together against the social control and corruption that is the Democratic fucking Socialist Party.
Well, I wonder where all the 81 million people went that voted for Biden. They don't seem to be saying much about what he's doing. I mean, I remember, we were always bragging about the good things Trump was doing. I don't see anyone saying anything about.
Well, that's just proof that that social media is censoring liberals.
Oh yeah.
That's proof. Yeah, I think you posted that meme, didn't you? That we believe that liberals are being silenced because we haven't seen very many.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, yeah, that is a good one.
I saw it again.
I might make one like that. I like that.
But yeah, that's where we are right now. And as soon as this mandate comes in, I believe that was a red line. So we may see things change drastically after October 18th. So. As Marfugo has been telling us for a year, as the military has been warning us, make sure you have 6 months to a year's worth of food because shit's going to get rough. And even if there isn't a lack of, it will be so damn expensive that you won't be able to eat half the shit that you eat now.
Get a little handbook on how to eat, stuff that grows in your backyard, because that's what we're going to have to do too, I think.
Yeah, I would prefer that to dumpster diving. There are people that have gotten into dumpster diving. I don't. I know I was born in the year of the rat, but I really don't get into that level of rat.
1972.
Yep. The year of the rat.
You know Rat X, don't you?
I've watched a couple of your chins. Yes, I know Rat X. A couple of his videos, his interviews on your channel. I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also deep dives so well into things when it comes to doing research on the things that correlate with what he's talking about. Red X is very deep into his topic.
Oh yeah, he's pretty deep.
Oh yeah, no, I like Red X. He does good research. I'll give him that much. He does very good research.
And he might be the villain in my movie.
Why would you make him a villain?
Because I need a villain. I need a villain.
I need a villain.
A villain. I mean, come on. I want to be a villain.
See,
I want to be your villain. No, he's too ugly for me. That can't be me.
That's me.
Oh
That's
yeah, there's the old cool suit. I see it now. Max.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hi, Max. There he is.
All right, there you go.
There you go. So he's, hopefully he can be my the bad guy, Eric Thorne. Did you see about the time machine, dude?
I did. I did. I am so excited about. So I told my girlfriend about the time machine earlier today. Well, actually, I don't know if it was the other day or the other day. And I was like, "Oh, we gotta watch this video." And I went back and I showed your video when you kind of produced it. I was like, "This is awesome. This is perfect." Go ahead. Cool. Let everybody else know that hasn't seen it.
Yes, this is a real time machine. I've actually sold 3 of them so far. So there are 3 people traveling forward in time now. With this.
And remember, only forward in time, folks.
It can only go forward. It's it cannot go backwards. And time travel device. Yes, now you can go into the future as far as you want, whenever you want. But remember, warning: this is a one-way time device. It can only take you into the future. It cannot, I repeat, this device cannot take you back in time, only forward into the future. See, there's the warning. Look at that. And then the instructions, I'll open it up here. I'll read it as I'm opening it, just for the dramatic, for the dramaticness of it.
The dramatic
effect. This time device is complex yet simple, futuristic yet old-fashioned. The way you travel into the future with this amazing time device is as simple as time itself. Time crystals are the key element in this time travel device. Instructions: turn the time device upside down. Okay. Now, when all of the time crystals go from the top time chamber into the bottom time chamber, now you and everything around you has traveled forward in time approximately 1 minute. Process takes approximately 60 seconds. But there you go. You can go as many times as you want. How do you like that?
I made the jump. I left when you started, and I came back right now. Look at that. It worked.
You're about halfway through.
We're halfway there into the future, friends.
There you go.
But be careful how many times you do this, because you don't want to get too far into the future, because you can't go back. Okay.
Exactly. And you age along with the machine, so you got to be careful. You can't go beyond what your life expectancy is going to be.
Look at that. The time crystals. They're going. It's getting close.
And we're there.
Bingo. Now we're approximately 1 minute into the future. The process took approximately 60 seconds.
Welcome to the future, everybody.
Welcome to the future, man. It's a wonderful place to be.
I feel a little bit older than I was about a minute ago.
You are.
No, you're lying. We're younger.
You see, Mother Rabbit shared, email Aaron and ask about the time machine, hot games, and puzzles, LLC@gmail.com. Shared at the bottom here. Like I said, Mexican's in the East. She's ready.
I only have one left. And of all my products, this is the only one that's made in China.
I You cannot do this without the InvisiCube. I feel like we need a little InvisiCube in our life.
It's not invisible because I don't have the green screen.
I know.
Yeah, that's
the super cubes. The super cubes.
We love the
they rock.
But that was the thing. On Zoom, we were able to do the green screen thing versus StreamYard. I haven't been able to do it. I saw in one point that what you can do is you can tape it one way and then edit it and put in whatever green screen you want into it, but you have to film it with the green screen before. It's not like live and it automatically appears or some stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not on my laptop, so I can't tell you.
For me, I just have to hang it and then I upload any background that I want to have. So I just upload any background that I want to have. If I wanted to do a spaceship with several rows behind me, I would just upload that onto the screen, and then it would upload with a green screen behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've done with the Zoom. But I didn't see that. I look for it in StreamYard.
It tells me my browser is not, but my browser is all up to date, so I don't know. Look at what Terry Hopper said. Having owned a Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarty time machine for a few days now, I can confirm that it does everything it's advertised to do. Very satisfied.
And that is
touche, Terry. Thank you.
Not everybody is keep up with their promises. That Moriarty's future traveling time machine keeps all its promises. Absolutely.
And if you guys are wondering about the top secret game that hasn't been released yet, we have one interview on this channel with Aaron Moriarty and Terry Hopper discussing a game that is private, that no one knows about, and has not been released to the public.
Oh,
if you reach back into the archives, you can find it.
Oh, you published that? Oh, I didn't know you were going to publish that.
We were live when you came on. I told you we were live.
Really? I didn't know. Okay, this is also a 3-letter agency made me classify this as a gag gift, LOL. So, yeah, they wouldn't let me sell a real time machine. I had to classify it as a gag gift. Can you believe it?
Yeah, no, I see the stipulations of your actual, the way you wrote it out was perfect, where it actually fell in the lines of what you were pushing and at the same time fell in the guidelines of what you were allowed to.
Yeah.
There, Jacob, he's offering. It's different. We're not pushy.
Yeah.
That's the left.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could make your own at home. I'm sure you could just grab a
no
timer.
You can buy the from your company, and they can 3D print it at home. Yes,
there's a lot of these timekeepers that will have like regular sand in them, but not all of them have time crystals.
That's right.
There's something that comes with this product that you can't find in other products.
True. I must say that is true. Yeah, the blue time crystals. That's the key. You don't find these in every single one of these. So
because the other ones don't allow you to go forward in time a minute. They'll always skew it. They'll always be different. The time cube.
We bet it will be the best sandwich, Mud Rabbit, because you make the best sandwiches. Mud Rabbit was making a joke before you came on that she makes the best sandwiches.
Oh, cool. I bet she does.
I would love to try Mud Rabbit sandwiches.
Oh, you know what I gotta show you? Hold on a second.
I hope it's a dark secret. I hope we're getting a first here. Isn't advertising as a gag gift because they're afraid of the truth.
From my mom today. Cookies from my mom.
There you go.
Cookies.
What kind?
2 different kinds. This kind is they're these oatmeal, they're non-bake kind of cookies. They're kind of peanut butter oatmeal.
I'm gonna say oatmeal, and the other one is gonna be rum raisin or something.
Peanut butter oatmeal. They're really good. And my mom makes really good chocolate chip cookies, but I had too many when I was a kid. I can't do chocolate chip anymore. So, and plus,
my wife tried.
I don't like sugar anymore either. I'm trying to cut down on my sugar.
My wife tries to do cookies for the kids, and she tries to make them all good and wholesome and everything else. So she uses the oatmeal in there, and they're edible. They're not my grandma's cookies. I can fucking guarantee you that.
These ones are really good. I mean, with peanut butter, they're really good.
Mud Rabbit, almost munchy time.
Munchy time. Yeah.
It sounds like it. If we're snacking on cookies and Mud Rabbit's got a sandwich, I feel like it's a little bit of munchy time.
There you go.
I take it when you can get it.
I want to try Mud Rabbit sandwich. You got to try that sandwich.
Well, Terry's first on the list. Now you're second.
Well,
Terry was quick to the hop.
Yeah. What are they talking about? Something seconds? I don't know, but I guess.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
Whenever you get three men together, you get this devolution of...
the devolution of lay it all out on the table and see whose is bigger. I get it. It's okay.
Full house, motherfucker. Beat that royal flush, bitch. Oh, shit.
I worked with a guy. I worked with a guy. He used to go like this. He used to go like it's on his shoulder.
Sometimes I scratch my ankle just to give people an idea. But I feel like there's a regular balance with it.
Or when the urinal's over the floor and you say, "Man, that water's cold."
Oh yes.
Never had to make that excuse, but anyway, I just avoid water.
Real world problems.
Oh, Mud Rabbit's laughing.
At least someone is. Yeah. Not just us.
Hey, it's on. There's always a good time. Definitely. Always a good time.
No, we got 6 people viewing, and I appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. It's always a good time. And I told everybody, we kind of got a little open platform tonight. The StreamYard shared in the description. It's in the title. It's also in the chat. I can share it again if everybody wants it. But you're more than welcome to hop up and join us. I was so excited to get Aaron on here tonight. That was awesome having you pop on.
Thanks for having me. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'm not kicking you off. I just wanted to let you know I'm very happy to have you here.
Well, it's nice to see both you guys. Definitely.
Love talking to Aaron. Now, Aaron, you're always up because I follow your Facebook, and so you're into the stuff as much as I am. Do we have any news? I mean, I'm thinking on the 18th when this thing goes down, that all hell's going to break loose. And so Mud Rabbit's positioning that all the ships are out at sea instead of in port really makes a lot of sense because the seaways are more clogged and doesn't allow for easy transit of more military vessels. Context. Holy shit. All right. My mind's just going everywhere.
Anyway, I knew exactly what you meant, Mud Rabbit.
Oh my God, Mud Rabbit. She went even further.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
That's our Mud Rabbit. She can always best us on any fucking topic. Doesn't matter what topic or what position or what. Mud Rabbit can best us all. Always. My hat's off to that woman. Congratulations. Always.
Yeah. I didn't know she was a woman for the longest time. It's like Mud Rabbit could be a guy or a girl, but I know now she's a woman. So
yes, and very, very, very into it when it comes to history and studying politics and following. There's a few lineages of conspiracy theories that she likes to follow that I've noticed kind of go down a certain path, but they're very interesting.
Yeah. Personally, Mud Rabbit's got everything going for good that I would. I mean, personality, mind, and everything else. So I'm good. That's all. I'll shut.
Cool. Well, I'm anxious to see what she does on our other show.
Well, it depends on what sandwiches she's going to bring. But anyway, PB&J is always good.
Whoa,
But
man.
however, we got lots of stuff going on this week to where lots of mandates were actually struck down by superior courts. We've got a fight in the Supreme Court. They didn't agree with each other on some things, and lots of other things that are pointing to the fact that Kamala Harris has disappeared. We don't know where the fuck she is. Oh wait, she appeared with a bunch of actor kids doing shit for NASA. That's right. Making funky shit. Like, did you know that through a telescope you can see craters on the moon with your own eyes? How wild is that? Like, Galileo didn't see that 500 fucking years ago, you dumbass bitch. Anyway.
You mean it's not made of cheese?
Aaron,
But it is hot.
thank you for jumping in earlier with the fact that you can see where we landed on the moon. A lot of people don't like to recognize that. And you can literally see it with the telescope technology that we have today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually deny the moon landing.
And you look at, you go to Google or DuckDuckGo and punch in moon landing sites, and you'll see they're all there. They got them all in like a little square. They're all right there. So yeah,
you can see the tracks because they're still there. There's no wind.
Right.
There's no wind. There's nothing to actually destroy. So you still have the tracks there.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's interesting was a theory that was posited, I think yesterday. Yeah, it had to be yesterday because I still had my laptop. On Tim Pool's channel, that crazy motherfucker that goes on mines, that's on his channel as well. Really hippie leftist dude. But anyway, one of the things that he was talking about was that the theory of the creation of the moon, to where there was and I think that would go along with the theory of, was it Tammuz? Was the planet that actually struck Earth, and then Earth made it bigger, and part of the chunk of the Earth actually scooped off and became the moon.
The asteroid belt.
Yeah, and one of the things that he mentioned was when it went out, it ended up being hollow. And so he's making reference to the Neil Armstrong comment, to where when they, I don't know, something heavy landed on the moon and it just rang like a bell. Like it was.
They were talking about landing on the moon and it ringing like a bell. That was the same time that they were talking about the crystal cities as well.
And the three visitors that are always on the. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. However, the ringing like a bell actually made it out into the normal nethers, and so most people have actually heard of the moon ringing like a bell. But how it became like that, I mean, some people think that it's like the Death Star, a space station that was floated into orbit around us to monitor us. I like more the idea of how it was naturally created. It's interesting how the possibility of it not having to have a molten core, but just having like a bubble hardened in space. Now that would be interesting. Now, how thick is it? How deep is it? Is it hollow? Yes, because it rings. But how deep is that crust? And how hollow is it inside, and what's inside? But then again, one of the favorite photos that I see on your channel, Aaron, that you and I have talked about lots of times, is that large ass fucking ship. It's a 1.5 miles long, I think.
3 miles long.
Tall.
3.5 miles. 3.5 miles long. Yeah,
it's taller than
the Eiffel Tower, laying it down. Yeah. And I just saw a video today. It's supposed to be Leona Snyder. She was the black woman that died on that Apollo 20 mission. Was William Rutledge's girlfriend. She died on the mission. But she's floating around. She's got like her hair in braids. But there's something funky about the braids, and people are thinking it's fake. But this is...
She's still floating.
This was 1976 that it was filmed.
She's still floating around in space?
No. It's a picture of her inside the capsule when she was still alive in 1976 when they did the mission. Apparently. Okay. But some people are saying it's fake. I don't know if it is or not.
No, but the braids, there's just a certain amount of things that you can do with hair. Okay, I mean, we'll try and reinvent things time and time, and you can tell um what epoch or what time you're in. I mean, like you can look at people's hair and say, oh yeah, that was the 80s. Yeah, he was from the 90s. Oh, that shit's, that's late 60s. I mean, you can just tell by the hair, and then how people wear it and how they are. And certain types of hair, they'll have things that come back and don't because it's useful. I mean, why does the man bun exist? For the same reason. For the same reason that librarians for hundreds of years, scoop their hair up into a bun and put a fucking pencil through it. Why? Because it's easier to take care of all your fucking hair, put it right up there, and you don't have to mess with it. Why? Because it's practical. It's what women with long fucking hair did for a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
Now, when did men start having long hair besides Samson? 1960s. Now, how did we do it? Just drop that shit down because you don't give a fuck. You got long hair because you're not taken care of.
You know how they got the kids to cut their hair? They start calling it a mullet. They don't want it.
Actually, you know how they got kids to cut their hair? They conscripted them into the army and they shaved everybody's fucking head.
Yeah.
So that was one way that they did it in the 60s. But the mullet was a thing.
How they got people into the haircut is they put the achy breaky heart guy out there. What's his name?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus. He was pushing the mullet. He was the one trying to propel it. When I grew up, I looked at pictures of my dad when he was in high school. He had a beautiful mullet. I'll give it to him. The best. Call it a karaoke, party in the front, or no, work in the front, party in the back. Gets me every time. A little
different.
That's funny.
Work in the front, the back. Dude, I'm worried about you.
That's the description. That's the description of the mullet. I don't know what you were talking about. That's a description of the mullet. Short cut in the front, like you have a job to do, and then party in the back. It's long and flowing.
Put that to
makes sense.
To scratch your ankles, which means that you need to bend over to scratch your ankles. So you put those two phrases together. I start worrying.
Ankles? I didn't get ankles out of that. I'm sorry. I'm confused. It might be the delay.
Previous phrases where you had mentioned that you like to scratch your ankles to make people think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't tie the two together. Talk about taking the context out of the story. Come on. What are you, a news reporter from CNN? Come on.
When you're touching your ankle, natural happens with.
Come on, Pena. You know this.
It's gonna be a fucking party in the back, man. If you're exposed, dude, don't be doing that shit. Besides, mullets were the worst fucking hairstyle ever invented, like fucking ever. And I know I had one.
I have to give the viewers an update because I reached out.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I reached out to Peter Moon after our interview. And I was letting him know because I don't know if I told Aaron about this. We are going to be making a journey trip to Montauk, New York to go to the base and spend a few days there. Me and a few viewers from the channel. And I let Peter know about it. And he said his exact words, which kind of made me giggle a little bit, were be extremely careful of deer ticks. Do not sleep near any grass and have tick repellent. The ticks carry Lyme disease.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, we have ticks out here too. That's immediately what I was thinking. Ticks are a common thing. I just didn't know there's more to worry about at the base than ticks.
Up in northern Door County, north of me here, they've never seen ticks up here because the soil's too acidic.
Yeah, plus Corey Good was talking about in one of his channels that the Aaron's doing now. I remember he was talking about the fact that the majority of the time that he was on those projects was tedious stuff that you don't think about. Washing windows and cleaning floors and this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When the interesting stuff really happened, it was really fucking interesting. But the majority of the time, it was boring fucking shit. So yeah, in those boring times, you're worried about ticks. So yeah, it's the little fucking details that make a difference, because either your trip can be great because you had a fantastic time, or you got bit by a fucking tit and you ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So
It's a bioweapon.
yeah,
Lyme disease was a bioweapon. You know, they
okay. Oh, hold on. Oh, I got to get it on this. Sorry. I just got a little update message. Okay, so he actually covered this in one of these books, in one of Peter's books, the Pyramids of Montauk. That's covered in his Montauk series, and he goes, "No, it's like an actually like a strangely more frequent occurrence with these ticks in this situation." And so he was pointing it out as actually a severity in the area. So
alien.
Well,
I don't know if he addressed them as that, but he does address them as a significant thing in the area.
There was a pyramid there.
Yeah.
And they dismantled it.
And and that's what Peter Moon refers to in his, I believe it's his third book, in the Montauk series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know if it was a mound or if it was blocks or what it was, but it was.
Well, and they actually credit it to the Indians in the area before the bases were ever actually established, I believe.
Okay.
The Montauk Indians.
You know, I grew up in Mound, Minnesota. They call it Mound because of all the Indian burial mounds. And I just read something about the history there, and it's actually devastating what they did. What they did to those Indians. They killed them. This was so sad. Unbelievable.
What Indians did they not kill?
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in Oklahoma, and so part of Oklahoma history, because my son down here complains that for the third year in a row, he has to learn about the history of Santa Catarina here in South Brazil. I'm going, son, I had the same thing, but at that time, I was learning about the history of Guthrie, Oklahoma, which is a little bit different. Because we learned about all the 13 tribes that actually were pushed into the last uninhabited land by the colonial expansionists, right? So the last section of most arid, windswept, worthless fucking terrain, that's where they shipped all the Indians to.
Mm-hmm.
And when the bison, who had no political lines, started going outside of political lines, and the Indians, doing what Indians fucking do, followed the bison because that's what they fucking eat, they would get shot because then they were invading colonial expansionist land. And so they were stuck to starve in this little pan-looking, kettle-looking area of land, because the map looks like a big kettle. That's why they call it the Panhandle up in the Northwest. And so these 13 tribes, out of hunger and desperation, decided to sell parts of their land. But the colonial expansionists did not want to eat from the edges. They decided to go straight for the heart. And so Guthrie, Oklahoma is the very first capital of Oklahoma. Why? Because that was the first territory sold by the Indians, accepted to be sold by the colonial expansionist powers. And they ended up expanding from the inside, which means that you are able to erode the entire structure much faster than what you would if you ate from around the edges. So they started from the center and expanded out from there, and soon it became the 49th state in the Union. So all the destruction that they did to the Indians before that to push them into that, and we also, part of history, part of Oklahoma history, is learning about the Trail of Tears. You know, the amount of Indians that were forced to walk from their native homelands to this new territory, and many didn't make the thousands of miles of trek that they had to get there. So yeah, it was the Trail of Tears because people fucking died. You'd be walking to your next home, and you see grandma and great grandma, and then your dad goes, your mom goes, and you survive because you've been there for another year, and you actually get there, and you're supposed to carry on everything without everybody else who had your history with you, you know, because they already passed on, and their history was fucking oral history. That's what they did, you know. So it's really sad finding out, and you really get angry, and I understand why there's so much hatred for the white. Because the colonial expansionist powers did some fucking seriously insanely shit. So like I was saying, I was woke before woke was a thing. But I also back in the 90s that you can't change everybody. So what you can do is you act and behave the way that you're supposed to. Don't expect everybody else to.
Yeah.
But those that respect you might start to imitate you because you know, imitation is the best form of
flattery.
Thank you. Exactly. So if people respect you and they like you, they're going to imitate or follow the things that you do. And so things that you do are beneficial things, like, let's say, for example, Christian philosophy of do unto others as you would have to do unto you, which means don't be a fucking hypocrite. Don't say, this guy's my friend, so this rule doesn't apply to him. But you're an asshole, and so this rule, I'm going to throw the book at you to make sure that you suffer under what everything that the rule book says that you can suffer by. But this guy, no, he's my friend. No, we're not going to let that happen to him. That's the hypocrisy that doesn't happen when treat thy neighbor as thyself. So as a Christian, if I have a friend that did something fucking shady, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say, no, that doesn't apply to him because he's different. Yeah. Try and be merciful, but the law applies to all.
Did you hear about the Fagawi Indians? You heard about those guys?
I haven't heard about those. Tell me more about those.
They were displaced, torn off their land, and they decided they were going to go on a quest, and they were going to find a new name for their tribe and a new place to live. So after walking for about a month, the chief goes up on this big hill. He looks around, and the people are all waiting. You know, they're all wondering, you know, what are we going to call ourselves? Where are we going to live? And he goes, where the fuck are we?
I love Aaron's dad jokes. I had a
feeling that was coming. Hey, man, the Dodger. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Hey, man. Thank you very much. Don't forget to share and like the video. There's that reminds me. It's not very different from the Mexican story of. When I was a kid, I always used to love to tell the story of why the Mexican flag has the eagle on it.
Let me interrupt you for 2 seconds. Anybody that's paying attention, Divine Tiffany just went live, and she's going to she's doing her regular karaoke night. If anybody wants to tune in, she
we need karaoke.
And I wish Aaron knew about this because I feel like there could be some good Elvis in our future. We have everybody from a gentleman that goes on there and rocks the harmonica for a few songs. There's a lot of good karaoke covers on that. And
great. Aaron can do Elvis.
I got an Elvis gig on Sunday.
Oh yeah?
No, you can do Elvis right now with Tiffany.
What's your channel?
Yeah, she's got her own channel. She follows your channel as well. It's Divine Tiffany. She's
there you go.
I got her following your channel. She likes a lot of your work, but she just went live. I was just letting people know that didn't get to catch it.
I do belong to her. So okay, yeah.
So Divine Tiffany, Thursday night is karaoke night. That's right. She just usually waits after ours, but she's got her time, and we're running.
We're running. This is my third interview today, so I get it.
I had a bunch of stuff that I ran the entire day today, so today was a busy day. However, we're only 2 hours into this one, but still at my time it's 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. You guys are going to be setting your clocks back to 1938 soon, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't run on the gold standard anymore. It's all about Bitcoin over here.
Your papers. Papers. You cannot be outside your home. You have no permission. Papers. Have you done what Big Brother asked? No. You must be welded into your home and starve.
Isn't she doing the Love Boat tonight? That's funny. Yeah, Mudrabbit and Terry and Rocco all went over and got a card pulled from Tiffany also does awesome tarot card readings, and that's the one thing that Pena told me when we did a live stream, and she went live one time when we were live, and we shared it with at the same time, and it was awesome because Pena got a card pulled that was so spot on, and he was like, "God damn it!" He goes, "As much as I want to deny it, and as much as I want to diminish what the ant is, he's like, God damn it, this is me." Like the characteristic made sense.
How the hell does an ant describe me? It's an ant. It's an insignificant fucking ant.
And then they broke down the characteristics of an ant in its community and how much significance it had. And then you were like, oh, never mind. Spot on. I was thinking about it as a small creature rather than the significance it plays in its own role.
Absolutely. So yeah, I was humming along with that the Love Boat. But one of the things that I loved about Friday nights back in the day was you had Love Boat and then followed by Fantasy Island. Love Boat was at 8, Fantasy Island was at 9, and 10 o'clock was the news. And 10:30 was MASH. And after MASH, I had to go to bed unless I sneaked into my little TV into my bedroom and I could watch Taxi for another half hour before I went to sleep. So that was usually my Friday nights. It was Love Boat, Fantasy Island, News, MASH, and Taxi. And I spent
that describes why you're such an emotional man. We understand you a little better now. Soft pitch.
Oh,
the boss, the plane. I don't know. They didn't have problems putting midgets on TV back then.
Your destination for summer fun.
Keep the papaya off of the Corinthian leather, please.
But remember, I was like, what was that, late 70s? So I was like 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. And remember that there was like 4 channels on television. Yeah. So it was either or some other fucked up shit. And there was a Magnum PI wasn't on another day. I know that I wouldn't be switching Love Boat for Magnum fucking PI. Give me a break. That Ferrari. Love that freaking Ferrari. And then a couple of years later, we got the Trans Am, and yeah, David Hasselhoff. Fuck him, but Kit was awesome. I love Kit, man. That car was freaking just.
That car was iconic, definitely.
David Hasselhoff was great in SpongeBob.
I did see him. Didn't they ride the Hasselhoff to the destination?
They rode on his legs and his back. Yeah, so funny.
But you know, Bikini Bottom got its name from
Bikini Bottom.
Probably from the bottom of a bikini.
The Bikini Islands. Now, the reason the Bikini Islands got that name, well, actually, they had the name the Bikini Islands. And they were out in the middle of the fucking Pacific. And so the U.S. Army decided to test their nuclear weapons on the Bikini Islands. And a big island became a pair of islands separated in the middle where the bomb fucking exploded, which is why we get the name the Bikini as a 2-piece swimsuit. Okay? So where the nuclear bomb exploded, the Bikini Islands, you go down to the bottom of the trenches of the ocean, which are probably a mile deep around there because it's in the middle of the fucking Pacific. And all these are volcanic ranges that pop up as islands, eventually. And so at the bottom of this nuclearly exploded island, we have evidently genetically altered individuals that can, I don't know, talk. I mean, since when can a starfish, no matter how fucking stupid he is, actually talk? And I never knew of a sponge actually flipping burgers. So that's pretty Godzilla awesome, if you ask me. You know, Godzilla was created the same way, nuclear fallout, and you know, oh yeah, attacking Tokyo. We be careful, Tokyo. Godzilla.
I love my good SpongeBob impressions. I don't take SpongeBob as deep as you take it. I love it on the surface level. I never thought of it that deep.
Did I go deep? I
didn't know that there was that much emphasis on the Bikini Bottom actual location.
Yeah, actually, there's the majority of the things that are in that show exist in real life.
Well, yeah, there's sponges and starfish and crabs.
The names of the streets and the addresses actually exist in real life. There's a lot of symbolism in SpongeBob. I mean, it's almost a way of the mind programming and that kind of shit that was going on in Simpsons and everything else, because it's the same demented motherfuckers making it all. You know, it's the same writers with the same freaking.
He's dead now, isn't he? Isn't he dead?
What, Groening?
No,
Fuck
no. The guy that does the voices, he's not dead. He does a lot of voices.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, Matt Groening.
He was also a marine biologist too, and when he first made his proposal, because he was also did Ren and Stimpy. But when he made his proposal for SpongeBob, they said, "This is great, but we're not going to make him yellow. Make him purple." And the guy was like, "No. SpongeBob is yellow." And they said, "Yellow doesn't sell. Nobody likes yellow products. Make them purple." He goes, "No.
Yellow sponge that we use in the kitchen to wash the dishes.
Yellow.
He
have it be yellow." So he made them yellow, and he stuck to his guns. And yellow SpongeBob sold like mad, and it
with the brown
ruined their whole idea. Well, it's just like when I worked at in the toy business, I was told that green toys never sell, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. It's like, well, I guess green toys do sell.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, Hulk and She-Hulk, and you know, there's lots of green.
But before
stuff.
all that,
yep.
You know, that was. Baby. I'm telling you, that was a long-standing. At least some people believed it. The people who were, managing me.
But those are those preconceived ideas that people always have of things, to where they allow their perceptions to try and influence, and that's what we have in the world today. The people that are and everything else.
We did a lot of product testing, and because we had a marketing department, testing department, and every year they would test what colors kids liked, and girls always liked purple and pink, and boys always liked blue or other colors like that.
Black and gray.
It would never fail. I mean, every once in a while you get like a few people that would be different, but it's just something. It's not from society. It's just what they'd rather have.
Physical nature. It's what we are naturally, and to deny that is just stupid.
Exactly. Well, there's all the
make nature your image instead of accepting what nature actually fucking is.
Yeah,
we're not going to do that.
Welcome to the Goo Lagoon. 10 hours later.
I'm a girl. I do not like purple and pink. Yeah, see, there's always some people aren't.
And I'm a guy, and my favorite color is purple, specifically like a dark, like medieval purple.
Yeah,
it's actually a sign of royalty. There's something about purple that I really like. I don't think they should be gender exclusive,
like Prince,
by any means.
Purple is the highest level of royalty, because you have blue royalty, which is like the dukes and lords, and you got the kings, which are red, which is why so much red stuff, the pau Brasil, was actually felled here in Brazil for red dye, for those red royal robes. Now, the person who was above the king, he wears purple. He has that blue and that red, and he has the money to actually combine both those extremely expensive dyes, which is why you don't find very many purple flags either. Okay. Yeah.
So Mud Rabbit's more into the cool colors in the spectrum.
but probably the past.
Yeah.
Either that or she's got high testosterone levels, and that's probably why I love her even more.
Oh, overassumption.
Hey, you never know. Everything is a clue.
This is true. I do not know. Oh, no, never mind. Mud Rabbit confirms. He's right.
There's about personality that's told me what's involved in that sort of thing. I mean, there's just how long have we been doing this? And Mud Rabbit followed us over from Erin's show, and so she's been on from the very beginning. And so all our interactions, it's not the Jake and Mike show. It's the Jake, Mike, and Mud Rabbit show, because there have been some where her comments in the comments section kept the show going for another hour and a half. I mean,
she definitely helped build our audience that we have today because of her intriguing questions that I can't actually, like, there's no way I can go past this subject without talking about it even more. Mud Rabbit has so much to add to the conversation, and sometimes I don't give it enough credit. I everything that Mud Rabbit adds, without being too, mushy about it. Mud Rabbit is just great to have around, especially in the panels, in the chat, and everything else.
No, I'm not kissing ass. I'm just flat out in love, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, let's go on before we embarrass our moderator and force her to go out. Yeah, exactly.
She's busy working on. She's working on watching people in the chat. She's way ahead of it already. She's texting us and monitoring the chat pretty well. I appreciate it.
She's doing three things at once. I mean, we expect nothing less from her. Actually,
while she's eating a bagel.
I don't know how she does
while eating a bagel. Florida woman right there for you. That's a Florida woman.
My experience with women is a lot of women are much better at multitasking than guys. In fact, the only way I can multitask is that I can take 2 bags of garbage out at the same time. That's it. That's my multitasking.
If they're light,
they're actually
I'm the same way. If they're light, I can throw them over one shoulder, but I got to keep the other hand free to open doors.
There you go. There you go.
You never heard releasing a bag to open a door, or opening all the doors before you door.
That's not manly. You gotta carry it the whole time. You gotta carry it all the way out to the road.
Fucking garbage. I'm not allowing that shit.
What are you taking breaks halfway? Come on, Pena. You can't make it all the way out to the trash without setting it down again?
I'm a germaphobe, motherfucker. I don't keep that shit anywhere near me. And if my hand touches the garbage bag, I do not use the same hand to use the garage door opener, because I'll infect the fucking garage door opener. So I open everything before I go out with the garbage. Why? Because once I go out with the garbage, I wash my hands before I actually use the controller and everything else, because germs are fucking dangerous. That's just me.
Is your middle name Howard Hughes by any chance?
No, but I love that guy. He was fantastic. Lots of inventions, and I'd like to be a billionaire as well. But I didn't get into Bitcoin 4 years ago, so that ship has left. I'm going to have to find the next wave that's going to make me a billionaire, and I'll probably be 80 by then, so I won't be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But hey, c'est la vie, right?
Yeah. Que sera, sera.
Oh, Terry's on a roll too. He's watching both Jacob Waters, Divine Tiffany, Monday Night Raw versus AEW.
Well, I'm kind of looking at.
Oh no, sorry, I read it wrong. It's like Monday Night Raw versus the AEW. No, it's not like that. This is like WCW and WWF acting like they're against each other, but literally behind the scenes, they're all working together, and they got something going on. But you're tuning into all of them because you're so interested in the storyline. Yeah. That's what it seems like.
The tension isn't captured by any of them, which means that it can divide it amongst all of them. Because there was a study that was actually done, because women love to say that we multitask and men can only do one thing at a time. And one of the studies actually found that yes, women do multitask, but what they do is they concentrate less on each task. So they end up doing it less efficiently and less well.
Yeah.
They do many tasks at the same time.
That
but they
study
half-ass all of it.
that study leads to my least favorite analogy I've ever heard people say. What people say when studying that analogy that you're making specifically is that I've heard women are like spaghetti and men are like waffles when it comes to squares, and that some things are chamberized and only brought up at certain times, and other things kind of flow into each other in the eyes
That's memory.
of spaghetti in them. And I don't think, see, and you picked up the analogy I was using without me even pointing out which one was which. Because
no, but
go ahead.
Because it's a scientific fact. That's something that I actually studied when I was knee deep in psychology as well. We have a tendency of compartmentalizing, and women use more of the quantum basis. I mean, they have all these different nexus and nodes. They connect in different ways, and so we're very organized, very right brained, and they're very left brained. And so it's a different way of processing the information. There are guys who are very left brain, very creative, those artists and everything else. They don't have things categorized in a little box and that sort of thing. I have a tendency of having both of them actually, and I've got this really bizarre thing where both sides of my brain actually converse with each other. There's very few that actually have that separation reduced. And so, yeah, they feed into each other. And so, yes, I've got things compartmentalized. And so whenever I seem like I have preconceived notions on people, there are these boxes of statistical probabilities that people fall into. But each individual is different from every other individual in that they fall into different fucking boxes. And so you just check off the boxes to find out how you can, why the ultimate objective is to be able to foretell what they're going to do. Science. The reason science exists is because we find a pattern in the past that can be repeated to project into the future to try and predict what is going to happen in the future. That's why we do science. Okay, if I have this ball right here and I release it, well, it's going to hit the granite in 1.2 seconds, depending on the acceleration, mass, and everything else. Acceleration is gravity, 9.9 meters per second squared. Anyway. You make those calculations so you can, if I do this, that's going to happen. That's where we get architecture from. Why? Because in order for this building to withstand 20 years of this amount of weight and this amount of wind and this amount of the other, you make those calculations to be able to predict future things and compensate for them. Okay. So whenever I've got these little squares, I add these different definitions to be able to predict what the next reaction is going to be from that person, what the next phrase might be from that person, what the next situation might encounter, what topic that person will tend to go into. Why? Because depending on certain probabilities, tendencies, and patterns shown in the past, people have a tendency to repeat those. And so you can predict people's patterns and behavior. And people are extremely predictable unless they're angry. And that's one thing that I always stressed on my players when I was a coach. People are predictable and people are predictably stupid. But you make them angry and pissed, they will do unpredictably crazy ass fucking shit to screw you up. So don't.
Well, and people. I think people by nature develop patterns, and they can be easily perceived upon if you're looking for them. But at the same time, if they feel like you're picking up on their pattern, they're going to try to throw things off. Serpentine.
Yeah, you're trying because they don't want to change the rules in the middle of the fucking game. You know, you called yellow, but because I found out that you called yellow, you're going to say, no, that's green. I told you it was green before. You didn't listen. They change the fucking rules because they don't want to admit when they're wrong. That's also part of the reality, and that's fine. You got to understand that shit and go on. Okay, because people don't admit when things are wrong. They live in a lie. They live in their own little fucking bubble, and you're not going to pop it. Just let them live in their fucking bubble, and you walk the fuck on. Why? Because you're living in reality versus some fucking concocted psychological bubble. Okay? Gaslighting. I'm still trying to figure out that phrase. Everybody uses it, and I don't know the real definition of gaslighting. People have mentioned different situations of those lights that were, illuminating the street, and they were all made out of gas, and that's gaslighting. I don't know what that phrase actually means, and I would love to know, because it's bugging the piss out of me that everybody uses it, and I don't know how to interpret it adequately.
Gaslighting?
Yeah, the term gaslighting. And yes, some people can't allow. My mother, for example, she has actually, hung up on me several times because I'll touch on subjects that she simply doesn't want to deal with. I can't burst her bubble. She'll say, no, I'm not talking to you. You're not going to continue bursting my bubble. And so she lives in this dream world, along with most leftists and socialists live in some fucking dystopian dream world they concocted, and somebody fucking programmed into their mind, and they think that bullshit is real. That's not real life. People die in those situations, so it's good to avoid that crap. But still, Aaron, you were going to tell me about gaslighting. Please remind me what gaslighting really means.
Well, I don't know if I know, but the way I interpret it, it's like you're adding gas to the light to light it up, not necessarily because it's right, just because you're adding the fuel. You're getting someone to think something by adding more fuel. You're I don't know.
Okay.
No, that makes sense. Feeding into something that isn't necessarily true.
Right.
And Mother Rabbit made a good point. She said gaslighting is when you say the sky is blue and someone insists that it's black.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm insisting.
Someone says, "Oh, there's a peaceful protest," when there's a building burning behind them.
Great analogy.
That's
great analogy.
Somebody that had COVID and was a methamphetamine junkie and was overdosing on fentanyl is a hero and somebody destroyed by a racist system.
Not the best analogy for YouTube. Not the best analogy. We'll just leave it at that. But I definitely know what road you're going down. But yes. Yeah.
Because I think Aaron on his Facebook page had one that mentioned that, to where somebody said, "Oh, I don't want to celebrate Columbus Day because I don't want to glorify criminals." And then they showed 5 different pictures of this individual going, "Yeah, the left doesn't want to glorify criminals." Okay. He held a knife to a pregnant woman's belly.
Right. Real nice guy.
Yeah,
Gentleman and a scholar. You know what's funny is they took that casket all over the country, and they had gatherings all over. Well, my uncle died, and I couldn't go to his funeral.
Hundreds of thousands.
The irony that gets me every time is lightning never strikes in the same place twice, according to the ideology of it. And for some reason, it struck this mural very hard and ruined it. I wonder why.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There was something to that was very significant to me.
Poetic justice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on that good note, guys, I actually do want to wrap it up a little bit. And anybody in the chat, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know we got at least 3 people still watching.
We're 2.5 hours in. It's almost 2:00 my time. So thank you very much, Jake. It's always a good Thursday night with you. I miss this, and thank you very much for having me on. Aaron, always a tremendous pleasure seeing you, brother, man.
Good to see you too, man.
It's like seeing my great uncle. It's just, I love having you on. I mean, you're the reason Jake and I got together in the first place, because we wanted to talk about shit that we couldn't talk about on your channel. And I can talk about less.
It's the danger zone.
And I can talk about less shit on Jake's channel than what I can on yours. Holy crap. All right. No,
I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's a regular ticker going across the bottom. If you haven't got into the chat, got into the chant on your own, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Yeah.
Let's go.
And Aaron, I got to let you do the honors. What is it that we say on the end of shows? Peace what?
Peace in.
Exactly. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you, guys.